Hi, I'm Bob Trask, and this is our weekly reset. Today, we're going to talk about self-confidence that will knock your socks off. Self-confidence that will knock your socks off. Nothing, I mean, absolutely nothing gets done without self-confidence. And you know that's true. A child learns to walk, learns to sit, learns to talk, learns to go to the bathroom by themselves. All those things are acts of self-confidence, aren't they? So they build that self-confidence. I I read sometime somewhere how many times a baby falls learning to walk. I can't remember, but it's like 17 times a minute or something. It's incredible. And yet they keep going on. They keep going on. And what happens? And see, they don't have the intelligence that you and I have. And the intelligence they have is very, very small. So they don't have all of that garbage in the back of their mind saying, you can't do it, it's too much, it's too big. They don't have all that. All they do is they just keep going. I read something yesterday in a book I was reading that I thought was just so spectacular. It was a fiction novel. It was a novel. It was a 600 and some page novel, but it was incredible. And in those last pages, it said, "When all hope is gone, or when all is seems lost, hope and a fixed goal, hope and a fixed goal." See, this baby has hope and a fixed goal. I'm going to walk. And they don't know that they can't. No one's ever said you can't. All these things that they can do, they can do. Then you and I grow up and we get a little older and we go to school and we learn how we don't know what we don't know. And we learn how we fail in math or we get a poor grade in reading or whatever that. And so we learn that we can't do things. We learn not that we can, but that we can't do things. Hopefully you had teachers who understood this. I've known some teachers. Chauncey's, or my daughter Chauncey, when she was in kindergarten, she had a teacher who actually taught the kids that they could do anything, that they just taught that. But as you go on through school, you begin to learn different, don't you? And people tell you different, and you get this self-doubt. Ooh, I should. That self-doubt is a cuss word. You know, it should be banned. But I'm going to say it here. Self-doubt. That's the enemy. That's the devil lurking inside of you, pulling you down. There is no devil, but let's pretend that that's what it is. But what it is all those voices pulling us, pulling us down. And everything we do today, from taking a glass of water and drinking it to making a sandwich, excuse me, to operating a business, we do that because we have the confidence that we can. So when we look at self-confidence in that way, we can easily see the following. The things I can do because I've done them before. The things that frighten me are frightening because I haven't done them. So in order to have the confidence to do them, I need to take baby steps in that direction. And then each step as a personal accomplishment, see that. And as I look back at each baby step, I'm confident that I can do it again. When you own enough baby steps, you can own the greatest of accomplishments. Marcus Garvey said, with confidence, you've won before you've started. You and I can look back over our lives right now. And if we just had, and when we were in school, we had report cards. I wish we had report cards over our lives that you could just go into the file and look at those. Because you have won and won and won and won again and again and again and again. You've done things that no one else has ever done because no one else has ever been you. You've done those things. You can't remember them. And that's unfortunate because we always remember when we failed. We always remember when we did something wrong. We always remember when we were driving a ship and we hit a rock. We'll always remember that. We won't remember all of them thousands and thousands of miles we traveled safely. We'll always remember when we had an accident that was our fault, maybe an automobile accident. We'll always remember that. But we'll never remember the tens of thousands of miles we drove safely. Your life has been a complete orchestration of success. You have done everything that you could do. The purpose of my talk here today is to boost you so we go to the next step. Because all you've done has brought you to here, but let's go to the next step. And that nasty self-doubt is the thing that can keep you from moving forward. One of my biggest challenges is to feel like I have the ability. I can do it so easily if I have the ability. And it's so easy for me, on the contrary, to say, well, I'm not good at that because I've never gone forward into that. And I don't have the confidence. And you might be saying, and rightfully saying, hey, how can I go forward with confidence when I've never done that before? I've tried it and it was a complete failure. I hear you. I hear you. And I think you have a good point. How could somebody be confident in some area that looks too complex for them? How could that possibly be? Here's the answer. You've already done so many things in life that are more complicated than this. You have more complicated, more of an uphill battle. It sometimes seems impossible. How can I go on? Go back to that book that I read, Hope and a Fixed Goal, a fixed vision, fixed, not wavering, fixed. This is what I'm going to do. I hope, and let me suggest that we replace the word hope with faith, trust. Well, how can you get trust? Because you've already done so many things that were harder than this. You have grown. You are a giant in the world. So take a moment and just own those wins and let them tell you that you can. And then instead of seeing the entire watermelon of the challenge that lays before you, let's begin taking small bites. No one eats a whole watermelon at once. You got to take small bites, baby steps. Tell yourself you don't have to accomplish the entire thing. All you do have to do is accomplish this one step. I've been there before. I've been in positions where I said, I don't think I can do this. I know I can't do this. I'm venturing into something that's impossible. And this little voice inside of me said, can you just take one step? And I said, yes, I can take one step in that direction. Just take one small step in that direction. And I did. And then, can you take another step? Oh, okay, I can take another step. I still can't accomplish this, but I can take this step. And now, can you take another step? Yes, I can take another step, but I still can't. I know I can't accomplish this though. Okay, but can you take another step? A little bite. Can you just take another step in that direction? Yes, I can take another step. And eventually the whole thing's done. I want to bring back to mind W.H. Murray, incredible man. I just wished I could have met him. He's a mountain climber, climbed all the high mountains in the world, and he did it before anyone else did it. And he was such a powerful man, but he was also a philosopher. And he wrote books, and he was such a great leader. But in this one quote, he said on commitment, that when you are committed, all sorts of things begin to unfold and happen for you that otherwise couldn't. And when I'm taking those baby steps and I have a fixed vision, not variable, not wavering, a fixed vision, a fixed goal, and I'm holding to that. And it's so easy. And I'm just going to stick with this for a minute. It's so easy for us to get knocked off course at this point, Because when you're holding that fixed vision, there's all this energy going on that's saying this won't work, you can't do it, this is impossible. There aren't even any methods for this, and there's no outline, there's no recipe. How can you do this? There's no manual. This is impossible. There's all that going on. But if you just hold the vision and commit to it, just hold it and commit to it and take baby steps, all sorts of unforeseen things that seem like miracles begin to occur that help you towards your goal. I'm an author. If I set out to write a book and I'm thinking it'll be 300 pages, I don't have 300 pages in me. I don't have 300 pages in me to write it this time, I'll tell you that. But maybe I have a good sentence, or maybe a page. And at the end of the book, I know I have the confidence knowing that I can author a 300-page book. And you, my friend, you can be who you dreamed of being. You can surely now do whatever you've dreamed of doing. I know, I don't know what it is in you, but you can do it. Do it in this lifetime. You know why you're being pulled toward that? You're being pulled toward that because there's an unfolding within inside of you, the spiritual unfolding inside of you that's asking to be unfolded. And if you follow your dream, if you'll follow that vision, if you'll go toward that thing that you want to do, even if it seems silly, even if you say, geez, I want to go to Switzerland in the winter, and I want to ride in a one horse sleigh, and I want to be bundled up and have a beautiful fur muff with my hands in it, and just hear the horses clopping along, and that's my dream. There's a reason that you want to do that, because there's something inside of you that's asking to be unfolded. And you say to yourself, well, what is it that could be unfolded? Because there's certainly nothing important to that. Well, how about joy? What if there's a level of joy in you that hasn't yet unfolded, and you unfold it there, and that's a greater you? And I promise you that when your joy unfolds, your life unfolds, because everything you do, everything you have, everything you be is there by joy. And joy is the only evidence of God. If you want to know about God, there's no God other than joy. There's no God other than love. And love and joy are the same thing. So there's no reason on earth that you can't do what you've been dreaming of doing, what you've been dreaming of having, what you've been dreaming of being. There's no reason on earth that you can't go forward and do that. And there are just 3 steps we need to take into the future to become all that we came here to be. Just 3 steps. Get that vision and hold it. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And then find out what your next step is going to be along that line. Because between you and that goal, you have certain steps. You have a mission. That's your mission. The mission is, what steps must I take to get to that goal? That's my mission. So line out that mission as best you can, and it's going to change because you don't know all the steps yet. You're just going to change, but get it going in that direction, and then find out who's on your support team. I know that if you've been watching and listening to this right now, you've already accomplished the hardest part of building self-confidence. You're present. You're present today. There's a lot of people that are not here, but you're here. And you're here because you've decided that you're going to become more self-confident. And today, the self-confidence I'm asking you to build is going to knock your socks off. The hardest part of building self-confidence is acknowledging what you've already accomplished. Acknowledging that. You say, I want to I want to have, I want to be and do and have more. And I'm not content just sitting on the couch watching the world go by. The majority of people won't take the risk you're taking. They allow their fears to be greater than their dreams. Roy T. Bennett said, "Don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart." What if there's something inside of you that's just the embryo of greatness? What if there's something inside of you that's just the embryo of greatness? How would you know? How would you know? What if there's something inside of you that could save someone's life or a lot of lives? What if there's an invention inside of you or a way of looking at things that could change the world? How would you know? How would you know? What if quietly waiting inside of you is an idea that would make you wealthy? How would you know that? How would you know? What if there's a gem of knowledge not yet uncovered that is genius? Genius. How would you know? We don't know. Not any of us. We don't know. Not until we go forward past our fears. And then as we do, the secrets of our inner souls awaken. The secrets of our inner souls awaken. They're asleep. They wake up and they say, "We've done all of this. Let's do more. We can go, we can do it." But you have to step forward in order to do that. So those secrets of our inner souls awaken and are revealed, and we discover who we came here to be. We discover who we came here to be. And then with great joy, we move forward in that direction. But until we face those uncertainties, those self-doubts, there's nothing in our life, not in your life or in mine, that's going to change. And it'll never get better. Never, never. Now, do we think we need training in order to do what we dream of? Okay, then let's begin the training. Let's begin it now. There are books and videos and things online to show us how to do anything in the world. I mean, you you can unstop a sink. you you can build a car. You can actually build a car. You can build a boat. You can do anything just by, there's all these how-to things. So you get the mechanics of how you unfold that, the mechanics of how you do that. That's the easy part. That's the easy part. It's the courage inside of you to do it, to go forward and do it, that we're talking about here. Let's find those books. Let's find those videos. Let's find those online messages that we can go to Google and find them. I'm telling you, in this day and age, virtually everything is available. So going toward your dream with a lack of self-trust is like driving with your foot on the brake. So what I'm talking about today is self-trust. What I'm talking about today is trusting yourself. And as I said, going forward toward your dream with a lack of self-trust is like driving with your foot on the brake. And it's up to us. We can take our foot off the brake. We can continually build our self-confidence, our happiness, and our fulfillment. We can do it, and there's an easy way. We can do it by taking the steps that we can. Even the smallest steps are perfectly okay. And then keep taking them, keep taking them, keep taking them. This is the way stars are born. This is the way world leaders are born. This is the way that the greatest accomplishments in the world were accomplished. When when uh, when NASA sends a rocket into space, and you can see the all the people gathered, and they're all the people that created that with all their computers and their white shirts and ties, and they're all in there, and they're all just going, watching the monitor, and they're all just going, oh, and then the thing does what they wanted it to do, and they all just start laughing and clapping in joy. Well, let's acknowledge that what they're actually saying is we didn't know it would work. We didn't know it would work. We had hope and a fixed goal. They had a vision and they had a fixed determination, commitment, step by step to get there. And when it worked out, they all just cheered. But what if it hadn't worked out? What if the rocket had failed? What if it had blown up? Then would they have just closed up shop and gone away? Well, they've had rockets blow up, and many of very dear people lost their lives. But they didn't give up. They didn't give up. They started over again. What went wrong? They learned from that and they went forward. Bit by bit, there are hundreds of thousands of things that can go wrong in launching a rocket into space. Not tens of thousands or hundreds. There are hundreds of thousands of things that they have to accomplish. And each person has to do his or her job. And that's called the support team. So as you move forward towards your goal, and it can't be as big as sending a rocket to the moon, when you move forward towards your goal, if you can keep a fixed goal in mind, don't let it go away. Let it be your purpose for living. A fixed goal in mind. Don't deter from that. And then keep the faith, the hope going on inside of you, and begin taking those baby steps, always in the direction, always in the direction. And if you get waylaid, if you're going towards that mountain and you come to a deep canyon and you say, gosh, I can't get there because of this deep canyon, then you go around the canyon. You find a bridge. You don't give up. You always keep your eyes on the prize. And then when you get there, we celebrate our success. We did it. Now we're more self-confident. Now we're more self-confident, if only a little, because it's adding up. Every time we win, even a small win, we need to anchor it and be grateful to ourselves. Now, let me talk about those small wins, because I've been talking about taking baby steps. So when you take a baby step, how about owning that win? That's a win. And you take another baby step, and that's a win. Now, that little baby walking across the living room floor, falling on its little diapered butt over and over and over again, it doesn't have to do what you and I are doing because they haven't built up all that enormous ocean of self-doubt. They don't have that. So they just keep getting up and going on. If they want to walk, they just keep getting up and going on. And eventually they can walk, then they can dance, then they can run, then they can jump, then they can do all kinds of things. But first they have to take these baby steps. But you and I, when we take these baby steps, it would be easy for us to just negate those or dismiss them. We need to own them. I just took a step. We need to celebrate ourselves. I'm moving in the direction of because already the confidence is building. With each step, it's building. And every time we win, even a small win like that, we need to anchor it, don't we? And be grateful for ourselves. David's story says self-confidence is the memory of success. Isn't that true? It's the memory of success. So let's get a bunch of successes. And then there's our self-confidence. Now then, here's the next step in building our self-confidence. We need to address our reluctance to depend on other people. To gather people and say, would you help me with this? This is really important. Let me explain it to you. Let me tell you what my goal is. Let me tell you what my vision is. And I want to move forward toward that. And I really need your support. And I need you to support me in the following way. You know some more about this than I do. I need you to be there for me to ask questions because you've been there, you've done this. Will you be there? Will you be on my support team? Will you be committed to me in this way? And get people who doesn't matter who they are. Maybe it's not a relative. Maybe it's not somebody that lives in the same house with you. Maybe it's not somebody you're married to or your children or your brothers or sisters or mothers or fathers, because sometimes they don't see the you that you are. Sometimes they're used to seeing you in a different way. You have to be willing to find somebody who sees the vision beyond you and is willing to commit with you to it. And maybe the person that you're asking to be on your support team doesn't have any knowledge in any of this stuff, but they know who you are and they love you. And you say, can I come to you just for inspiration and to kick my butt and get me back online again when I start falling away? Can I do that? And you get people on your support team, and you not only rely on them, you contact them. You contact them. You let them know your progress, how you're going. I took a step today. I took another step today. You let them know what's going on because that builds hope inside of them. And then they get on your team and then they start cheering you. So let's move forward. Let's go forward. What is our support team? Let's talk about our support team. What do they get out of this other than seeing us win? Just that. They get to be on a winning team. And also they get their own dreams out on the table and they begin to look at how they can fulfill those. But I've talked a lot now, and this is information gathered from thousands of my students around the world and also from experts whom I've researched for this talk. And still some of us wait, don't we? We procrastinate. Still we look at our dream accomplishments with unease, with fear. Robert Anthony said, you can have anything you want if you're willing to give up the belief you can't have it. Can we just stay with that for a minute? You can have anything you want if you're willing to give up the belief that you can't have it. I'm going to give up that belief on my own today. I'm going to give up the belief that I can't have it. I'm giving it up. I'm giving it up right now. Will you give up the belief that you can't have it? Just give that belief up. And George Adair said, everything you've ever wanted is just on the other side of fear. Everything you've ever wanted is just on the other side of fear. So I think about this in my own life, and I think, I've done so much, I've accomplished so much. And yet when I look forward, I see that there are things that frighten me. We have to go forward, my dears. We have to go forward and build the self-confidence. No one's born with self-confidence. We have to build it. That's our job. Everything that we're doing, that we accomplish, makes us larger and more available spiritually. If there's a purpose that we came on this planet to accomplish, you and me, it's to become all that we can be. Isn't that true? It's to become all that we can be. And how can we do that without self-confidence? But self-confidence is there for us. It's there for us. All we have to do is get a dream, a vision, a goal, a fixed goal, and then hold it, hold it, hold it, and keep the hope alive. The hope is the faith. Keep the faith alive. Keep the trust alive that you can take baby steps, that you can take steps toward it. And none of this can happen if you're not following your bliss. David Schwartz said, all confidence is acquired, developed. No one is born with self-confidence. Nothing could have happened in your life that's gotten you where you are if it hadn't been done with following your bliss. Everything wonderful and beautiful and great has happened in your life has happened because you were following your bliss. I wanted to become a famous singer. I never became a famous singer, but I followed that. And eventually that vision changed. When I got right to that vision and I was being accepted as a famous singer and I was being offered contracts and I was being offered opportunities on television, I left and I went to sea and I became a deckhand on a boat. And then eventually I worked my way up and took all the tests and I became a sea captain. And I was a sea captain, and I thought, well, this is it. I'm a sea captain, but there was still something going on in my mind. And from that, I came into what I'm doing now. And this has been following my bliss, following what pulled me along. I had no idea I'd ever become the so-called spiritual master, spiritual leader, or whatever the heck I am. I never had any idea that would happen. Never thought I'd end up writing books and becoming well known around the world. I never thought that would happen. It wasn't my goal, but each blissful goal led me to the next blissful goal, and here I am. Adam Grant said, we think self-confidence causes success, but it's more a result of success. Mastering something hard, accomplishing something meaningful. And Henry Ford, I'm going to finish today by asking Henry Ford to speak to us. He said, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. Thank you for being with me. Thank you. Please, if this has been meaningful, you support us by going to bobtrask.com and leaving a donation. I appreciate it very much. And you know that all of these resets are all online, all on YouTube. You can look at many of them and help you build that confidence. Thank you for being with me. Go with my love, and I'll see you next week.